Welcome back to my channel. And if you've never been here before, the South lost. Get over it. Today I want to talk about, well actually I don't want to talk, today we're talking about Amanda Ensing, which is how I understand her name is pronounced. I could be wrong, but I don't care. If you said, who? You're in good company. I had no idea who the hell she was either. But you're about to find out the way that I found out. Now after a cursory glance at Amanda's channel, here's what I know. Amanda appears to be a beauty, makeup, lifestyle type of creator. She has amassed roughly 1.4 million subs. She has an absolutely unshakable faith in God and absolutely shit political views. And that, unfortunately, is what we're talking about today. Amanda recently uploaded a video called What's Next for America? As of this moment, that video has 118,000 views, 4.1 thousand likes to 18,000 dislikes. So, you know it's good. Amanda starts off her video talking about how this video is for you, whether you're a believer or a non-believer. As a Catholic turned atheist, and as a human with a fully functioning brain, I sincerely doubt that any of this video was for me. Throughout this entire video, Amanda encourages her audience to do the research, to find facts and educate yourself. She offers a helping hand by giving you a series of links in her description. Let's take a look at those real quick, shall we? Ooh, TikTok and Facebook. Much research. Such credible. Amanda says she double majored at the University of Tennessee in political science and in business administration. When she got her degree, when she graduated, she was sort of put off from politics because of the corruption of it all. And I have to say to that, huh? You studied political science and it took until you graduated and actually saw politics firsthand to know that there was corruption in politics. I'm pretty sure that's like the first fact about politics that most people can like read off the dome, right? So either she was really, really naive studying poli-sci, or she's lying about having studied poli-sci. Either way, I still don't care. She talks about how the term influencer has taken on such a much grander meaning now. People are expected to willingly share their views. You're no longer just a beauty influencer or a gamer or in lifestyle or commentary or what have you. That it's much larger. The term influencer is much larger now. And to that I ask, is it? The term influencer in and of itself implies you have influence. Just because some people use it for good and to help push forward a progressive agenda that actually will help people instead of hurt them, rather than use their platform to push ideas and agendas that no longer function properly in the 21st century. Or if you're Bryce Hall and you party through an entire global pandemic, then I don't know what to tell you. Amanda said she never wanted to get political on her channel because her focus was always on love, light, positivity, and bringing people to God. Prior to this, Amanda flippantly mentions freedom of speech, as most people do when they mention freedom of speech. So really quickly, let's just go to school, okay? Freedom of speech is part of our First Amendment rights. It guarantees us the freedom to speak freely without persecution from our government. From our government. It is not the ability to say whatever you want, whenever you want, to whomever you want without consequence. Those are different things. But we all pretty much know that, right? Or like, we should? What's with this hair? Well, how about this? The First Amendment also guarantees us freedom of religion. This allows us the freedom to practice whatever religion we choose, again, free from government's persecution. Again, free from our government's persecution. It is also a protection for freedom from religion, which means that if you so choose to not practice a religion, that is also a guaranteed freedom as to not be persecuted by the government. So, if your message is love, light, positivity, and bringing people to God, you're not really executing the freedom from religion part of the First Amendment, but it's really cool of you to cherry pick which parts of it are actually relevant. She says she's always shared the message of love and tolerance and equality for all. She votes only based on facts policy and her Christian faith. She says she educates herself fully and she knows all the facts and all the policies. All of them. All of them. She knows all of them. She's not going to tell you what they are, but she knows all of them. And that's great news because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have a bunch of facts and policies that I'm sure she's well aware of. For example, they want health care for all, which also includes your private insurance if you feel more comfortable with that. Only a tax increase on people making over $400,000 a year, which is not Amanda, because according to the internet, her net worth is $69,000 a year. That could be right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what the internet told me. They also want to pass the Equality Act. You know, the equality that you find so very, very important? The Equality Act actually gives protections to the LGBTQ plus community and does not invalidate their marriages or their unions of any kind and keeps them safe from persecution from Trump supporters, basically. They want to end systemic racism, not just through words, but through actions. For example, when a white cop murders a black man who was unarmed and not resisting in broad daylight, instead of just firing them and paying them for their time off and then waiting for that cop to go to another jurisdiction and get another job, they're actually going to put him in jail instead. Serving time for your crimes, you know? They'll also likely be getting a handle on that pesky global pandemic business that Trump doesn't believe really exists, and if it does, it's nothing to be afraid of because he was able to get the most exclusive medicine that no one else can get. They also want to end cash bail and end private prisons, legalize marijuana on a federal level, and expunge the records of non-violent drug criminals. They also want to put funding into infrastructure and schools, which will help children. And they also want to pay teachers more, which will help children. You know, the children that Jesus loved? Surely these are all factors that Amanda definitely considered before voting for Donald fucking Trump. She says, I've seen so much hate, and that immediately makes a foray into her noting that she's not trying to shame anyone for their vote. She wants you to know who you're voting for. And when she saw all these people so confused about why anyone would vote for Trump, she follows that up by saying that there's been peace in the Middle East since he took office, and bitch, where? Even if that was true, which it's not, look at the unrest in this country. Aren't they the party of like, oh, it's nice that, you know, these starving kids in Ethiopia need, Ethiopia's just a point of reference, I don't know that it's true. These starving kids in Ethiopia need food, but why don't we take care of ours first? But, you know, there's peace in the Middle East, I guess. He says that the other party, meaning the liberals, those who voted for Joe Biden, vote based off of hate.
What?
The hate of racial inequality, the hate of persecution for the LGBTQ plus community, the hate of living in absolute poverty and working 3 jobs at a time. Yeah, I guess we're voting in hate. She says I could go on and on and on and on and on, and I bet she fucking could, and it would be 22 minutes of absolute roundabout word salad. Oh wait, that's what it was. Amanda goes on to say that something she will never apologize for is thinking for herself.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Never once in this video does she say anything about anything. Spoiler alert. She doesn't really say anything. She talks in very obtuse terms, very vague. You can say the words policy and facts and research and educate yourself all you want in the span of 22 minutes, but that doesn't mean you did any. She claims the left was voting off a hashtag. First of all, I don't know what that even fucking means. Voting off a hashtag? I wouldn't even say Trump supporters vote off a hashtag. And they have a fucking slogan that they've been screaming for 4 years. What does that mean? Biden-Harris 2020? Is that the hashtag? Is that the hashtag you're talking about? The names of our candidates? Remember, she's never gonna shame you for how you vote. She goes on to make some crack about how she knows what's really going on in this country, and that if we knew what was really going on in this country, that we would be scared and embarrassed.
Honey.
We've been scared and embarrassed since November 8th, 2016. Like, we're good. Then she starts to pull her racial background into the situation. She opens up with, as a Latina. And I'm sorry, but as a Latina, Donald Trump doesn't give a right honorable fuck about you. Because he's a racist. Remember when Puerto Rico got decimated by a hurricane? And Donald Trump's solution was to not help them and throw paper towels at them? Was that not enough for you? Still okay? Still good? All right. She says, I've seen the party of tolerance and love denounce me as a Latina. Now, using the party of tolerance and love as a way to make a point anytime a liberal says anything remotely aggressive towards anybody is a very, very common platitude that Trump supporters take every time they open their mouth. But remember,
She's not gonna apologize for thinking for herself.
I guess she's not going to apologize for thinking for herself because she hasn't yet faced that burden of having to think for herself. But then the conversation swiftly moves from this is who I voted for and a very thinly veiled explanation of why racism and homophobia and sexism and transphobia. It moves on to Christianity as a whole in her life. And she says that Christians don't believe in canceling people. First of all, cancel culture, mixing religion and cancel culture is kind of hysterical. Christians don't cancel people for their disagreements, but instead they form their own opinions. Then why do you all have the same opinion? I don't get it. I'm not here to shit on religion, okay? It seems like it. I'm not. But I think that's a really weird way to make that point. And she says when you don't believe in something, it has no power over your life. And as a Catholic turned atheist, I have to say that's the only thing in this video that's absolutely true. Your belief in God has no effect on me, except in the way that you vote. It says that this is not an attack on who you voted for. This is an attack on God. And that's a pretty heavy statement because not everybody who believes in God believes in your particular sky daddy, honey. That's just not how religion works. Yours is not the only one. No, it's not an attack on who you voted for. It's an attack on their morals and values or lack thereof. You know, like ripping little brown kids away from their parents and then fucking losing them? Christ fucking loves that. She says, how arrogant do you have to be to think that your words and thoughts are higher than God's? I don't know. How arrogant do you have to be to think that everyone practices religion, let alone your religion, and would therefore have to take his word as gospel?
Pun intended.
Amanda goes on to say, whatever Bible you're reading is not the same Bible I'm reading. So there are two different divisions of Christianity, each of which has their own subsects. There are 6 of them, 7 potentially. You're probably not reading the same Bible. Even if this was a legitimate argument, it's not a legitimate argument. You're saying,
What, do you have like a different religion than mine?
probably. Also, quick question, side note, is this the same Bible or a different Bible that Trump was holding after he had a bunch of protesters tear gas so that he could stand in front of a church that he couldn't name if it had a neon sign in front of it? Just wondering if that's the same Bible or if that's a different one. She says, when Jesus' heart hurts, my heart hurts. Bitch, I hate these empty platitudes. Jesus is dead, kid. No matter what religion you practice, Jesus is dead. Okay, Easter, whatever. He says it's wrong to cast out family and friends because the media told you they were bad. Now, here's the thing. As somebody who's had family and friends actually leave me instead, I'm gonna say this. This is no longer a difference in politics. This is a difference in morals, in ethics. This is a difference in the very integrity of being a human. Forget being an American, forget being a Christian. This is about the difference between being a good human who believes all humans deserve good things and being a piece of shit human who believes that they need what they need and fuck everybody else. That's the difference. One party believes that a huge chunk of the other party shouldn't even fucking exist. So if you want to sit here and get on your high fucking Christian horse about what a fucking problem it is that the media is telling people that the people in their lives are treating them like fucking heathens, like you're attempting to do to your entire audience, then you can go fuck. Making a point about the media and how it has an effect on your brain. She says, television tells you your vision. Programming programs you. She really Like she really fucking thought she did something with that. She goes on to say, we all make mistakes and I'm not here to shame you. Clearly, that's not true. And clearly, yes, all people make mistakes. But voting against a party that is only stood for oppression of pretty much everybody, greed and selfishness and hatred, racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, xenophobia, anything that ends in phobia, fucking claustrophobia at this point. That's not a mistake. That's an intention. She says, I'm not here to judge you or treat you unfairly, despite having done exactly that for half of this video. She starts yammering on about God speaking to her through other people, which I get is like a spiritual thing, you know, you hear different messages through different things that people say, and I get that. I'm a spiritual person. I may not believe in God, but I do believe in, you know, spiritual energy. I don't know what I believe, but it ain't God and it ain't one deity. But I get the gist of that concept. I was wondering if she caught her own hypocrisies, you know, in this moment while I was like trying to stay awake. You know, like her lashes that look like they were done during Jenna Marbles 100 Coats of Things video, or the Botox that I've seen on her channel that she gets or has gotten, I don't know how often she gets it, or the lip filler that's enough to make her look like a Bratz doll. Aren't we all supposed to be created in God's image? And therefore we are perfect as is? Also, don't like 75% of influencers have at least one of those things, Botox or fillers or, you know, lashes? There's that, you know, thinking for herself and walking alone, working its magic. Anywho, Amanda says that God puts you where you are. Well, God also gave us free will, so I think we fucking put us where we are. She starts going on about people turning your back on you because of your faith. Like she's trying to be inspirational here. And in Amanda's case, I don't know, and again, I don't know anything about Amanda, but I can tell you right now that nobody's turning their back on her because of her faith. Christianity, while it might not be the most populous by numbers religion, it's probably the most widely accepted religion in America, specifically. No one is turning on you because of your faith in God. I, as an atheist, I wouldn't even turn on you because of your faith in God. I think believe whatever you want to believe. If it makes you feel better, if it brings you peace, if it makes you happy and it hurts nobody else, knock yourself out. The problem is that you voted for Donald Trump, who stands for everything Jesus Christ would be vehemently against. Unless, of course, I missed the passage in the gospel according to Luke where Jesus was raw dog and a porn star. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Maybe we're not reading the same Bible after all. This video literally could have been 5 minutes long. If she had just been open and honest and said, hey, I don't believe anybody should have equality. I don't want to pay more in taxes. I'm uneducated and I actually haven't looked into anything else. And I'm not going to give you any reason to believe anything otherwise. But here's my views. She says, I'm a good person. No. You're not. Your vote tells me that. Sorry, sis. She says, I believe in equality for all. No, you don't. Your vote tells me this. Sorry, sis.
I feel so deeply when people are hurting. Without God, I would have been a hot mess this week. My confidence, my self-esteem, who I was, I probably would have gone into a breakdown.
Me, I, me, the party of Trump. Literally 22 minutes of word salad. She doesn't say anything of substance except that she voted for Trump and she's trying to hide behind her Christian faith as an excuse for it. I didn't learn anything about what's next for America. I did learn that Amanda thinks she's being persecuted for her religion. Again, the most popular religion in America, which is not at all happening, but she is being shamed for voting for Trump. Again, who vehemently goes against everything that that Jesus Christ stood for. But she says she only goes by facts and policy. She has all the facts and knows all the policies, despite talking in circles, sharing absolutely no factual evidence whatsoever or anything she's even vaguely alluded to. This was nothing but 22 minutes of hypocrisy, ignorance, self-important, bloviating bullshit under the guise of an aha moment of peace with an I'm with God t-shirt on. But I guess the takeaway here is that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won, so I guess God does have a plan. That's all I have for you today. I'm exhausted. This video took it out of me. I would love to hear what you think about this video if you watched it, about this commentary if you watched it, about the election if you watched it, the Queen, Vice President-elect. Go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it. Go ahead and give this video a big old dislike if you liked it, disliked it. I don't care, it's all engagement. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's been a minute since I made a video, but I'm I'm right here. I didn't go anywhere. Like a fucking election happening and shit. Yeah, that's it. And I'll see you in the next one.